Oh boy.
Okay guys, so today's video is how to deal with people that don't like you. And joining me today, I have...
Idiots.
No tea, no shade, everybody. So today, joining me, I have the Taylor Belle, guys.
Live in the flesh, here I am.
If you don't know who she is, this is my roommate. She sings. I just kind of dragged Taylor into being in this video like the last minute, so let's get this started. So today, I don't know, I was like sitting here 2 seconds ago for the past 10 minutes. I've been trying to figure out what I want to film because I just felt the need to film something, I don't know. I was like, no, I don't want to do a haul, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, because all of it just seemed so like, I don't know, just like artificial. And so I was thinking what to freaking film, and then I made a joke that I was gonna make a video about me not liking my roommate, and then I realized that moving into college for our 2nd year, you know, not everybody likes us. Surprise!
Who would have guessed it? We're so likable.
Spoiler alert, guys, not everybody is gonna like you in your life, and that is just like, all jokes aside, that's something that is gonna hurt, but like, don't let it hurt you. And I guess this is what this video is all about, is about like, don't let the haters get to you.
Let the haters be your motivators.
Okay, what should we start with? When we're talking about people that don't like us.
First of all, you have to look at where it's coming from. When people talk about you behind your back or to your face, you have to look at the source. And I think something that we should touch on also is that sometimes the people that hate on you or kind of put you down can be people that are close to you. So you can't let people's titles or how they're supposed to treat you affect how they actually are treating you. Because a lot of times we make excuses for people when we think that they should be treating us a certain way, when really,
That's really good.
Yeah, that's like the gist of it, because a lot of times we like value people's opinions more based on their title or like their place in our lives currently. But if someone's not treating you right, regardless of who they are, you can't put up with that, and you can't let them do that to you, because you need to know your own self-worth. So I think that's something that's really important to talk about.
That's the end of this video. That's everything you needed to hear. Wow, yeah, no, that's so good actually, because I think that's something that I see a lot in myself, and mainly like a lot of my friends. Dealing with people that don't like them or don't like me, that's a huge thing in it, is that when it's someone that is so close, it's so easy. I mean, sometimes it is hard for me, like, no, it is, having people that don't even know you hate you, because it's just weird, and you're like, yeah, you don't know me, I don't know what, like, okay, you got a bad vibe from me, I'm sorry that you got a bad vibe or something, even though like, even though I've definitely done that before, where like you meet someone and you just like, no, like they rub me the wrong way or something like that. But so I guess like it is like a two-way street of me not trying to do that to other people. But it's just like, it's not fun when someone's like that to you. And the best, and I don't know where I'm going with this, but I feel like one of the best ways to deal with that is just kind of like what she was saying, is like realize like that source of like where their anger is coming from.
Definitely.
And especially when it's people that are random, that's their own problem. I think that that is just a problem. Anytime that I've ever found myself like maybe judging someone, because like, okay, raise your hand if you've ever judged someone. Every single person has judged a person in their life. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I've never judged anyone ever, and like I'm just a really like perfect person that's like never ever been mean. No, that's not true. Like, everyone has their slip-ups, everyone has their own like baggage that they come with, and that's just who you are and what like makes you you, whatever. Not saying that being mean is like, oh yeah, it's just what makes me mean. Can we make bullet points on your phone? That way I like, that's what I did with the last videos. I made bullet points, that way I like remember where my headspace is, because I always forget. Okay, so as you saw, I just left in like what we were saying before, but now we're like fully starting. It'll be like a restart for us, because we just kind of like gathered our thoughts and bullet pointed like kind of what we were trying to hit. because I just get lost in the sauce of my tangents. So we're starting with people that don't know you and how to deal with people that don't know you and don't like you. So what's your first reaction when like you find out that someone you don't know doesn't like you?
So the answer kind of varies, because I think like throughout my own personal growth as a person, my opinion on this has changed a lot. When I was younger, I would let it affect me a lot. So it also depended, like, it varied with what platform it was through. So if it was like an online presence or like someone who had never met me before, I always kind of brushed that off. If you don't know, I sing, so like I would post YouTube videos, and when I was really young, the like hate comments would bother me a little bit, but as I got older, I kind of just learned to ignore them. But if it was someone that I did know who they were, or they had just met me once or twice, or they had never actually had a conversation with me and they had just decided that they didn't like me, it would bother me so much, and I would let it get to me, and I would just keep thinking on it and like questioning what I had done wrong or what could be wrong with me that this person wouldn't like me. But what I've learned over time is that sometimes people just won't like you and they won't click with you, or they'll have these like assumptions made before they've even met you, and although it's unfair, you shouldn't let that bother you, because that's not the kind of person that you even want to like you or want to interact with you. Because you as yourself, you wouldn't want to be associated with someone that judges people based off of their outer appearance or based off of what they hear from other people. So I think it's just important to look at who it is that's saying that about you and where they're coming from, and question if it's even like a valid reason whatsoever, or if you care enough about someone with those qualities to let yourself harp on it and let yourself judge yourself because of that.
I think definitely like the first thing for me is like, I grew up my whole life always wanting to be liked by everyone. Like, I had such a big problem if someone didn't like me, or if like I felt that even people that I should have not liked, or that were really mean to me or done stuff that were mean to me, I still tried to be their friend, because it was almost that I felt that with people that were mean to me, if I showed them like kindness and stuff, that they would show kindness back to me. And even though like that is something that like I still try to do, still try to be nice to people that weren't the nicest to me or whatever, there's a line, and that line is something that I always crossed, and that's that if someone has done something mean to you that is like disrespectful towards you and just like everything that you are or something, like it is good to still be nice to them and to try to show them kindness, but you don't have to bring them into your life the way that they were before. Or actually no, this is someone you don't know, so you don't have to bring them into your life whatsoever. And like you can still be nice to them, but it does like you don't have to be this like super fake and like bubbly person that like knows that this person has like talked bad about you. So you don't, if this person has said really bad things about you and you know that, and that's like a fact, it's not just hearsay, it's, you know, and you've like maybe seen text messages or you've heard from their close friends that they don't like you or whatever, you don't have to be this like super bubbly and pretend you don't know anything. Like you can just be neutral. You don't have to be mean, but you can just be neutral. You can pass by them in the hallways or on the street or whatever, and you can give a little smile or whatever. You just like can just not say anything, because at that point I feel like you've earned the right to not do that.
Yeah, and I also think that it comes down to a level of self-respect, because you should respect yourself enough not to try and change who you are to please other people. And if someone's doing that to you, you should absolutely respect them, because you want to be the bigger person, and you should just have respect for people generally, but you don't need to go anywhere beyond that. And like I said, it's just a level of self-respect. And I think that something that I've like actually talked about a lot recently with friends is like, if you feel like you need to change yourself or act a certain way around people, that's really a form of like not loving yourself, because you should love and respect yourself enough to not change who you are to mold how other people view you. You should be proud enough of who you are and the things that you like and your own character traits to not change them to fit into a certain bubble or fit into a certain group, you know. be in a certain group in school, you want to be in the popular group, or whatever the case may be, you shouldn't do that, because you're not going to find any lasting friendships or genuine relationships through that, because you're not showing who you truly are.
Yeah.
So it's never going to be genuine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was like such a big thing, like coming into college, especially that
Definitely.
like wanting to be friends, like wanting to have friends. You went from having friends back at like in high school and stuff, and you have all these close bonds and relationships. You've known these people, a lot of these people since kindergarten, or maybe not, but you have close bonds, and all of a sudden you're thrown into a new situation and nobody knows you, and you're like, okay, I really liked it when I had a best friend and when I had 2 other friends that were close, and I had a group of 4, so that was my favorite thing. So now I'm here and I'm gonna try to find a group of 4 people, and like that's something that just like goes together and makes sense in your head or whatever. And I think it's so easy to scramble and kind of push aside parts of yourself in order to fit what you think is like the mold of what creates your perfect friendship. And I think that just like shows to be like not true to you, and they'll like a lot of the time it can end in you getting hurt because you haven't remained, like you're already hurting yourself by not staying true to yourself, and it kind of can be like a long-term hurting when like you're suppressing certain parts of yourself to try to fit into this crowd and everything, and then all of a sudden like these people that you really hoped would like you and be all that stuff, even though you tried changing yourself as much as possible, they still don't like you for you. And then on top of like wasting all of that time and trying to be friends with these people that really don't really know you, because they don't even know who you are, and like now you're at a place where you don't even know who you are because you've lost that part of you, and you've lost certain like aspects of yourself that you really admired and enjoyed and thought were fun and thought were good parts of you. And now you're at this point of like, okay, I tried pushing that away because I thought that people wouldn't like that, and now the person that I perceive myself as, like, they don't like me, so who am I, and what do I have to do for people to like me? And I think that's so like, it's so harmful, because you can either be fully yourself and have people not like you, or you can try to put on this facade and then like still people might not like you, because not everyone's gonna like you. And I think the first one hurts more, because when you are putting on this like image for people and people don't like that, it's almost kind of like, okay, they didn't like that fake part of me. And so you kind of can just take that and you can push it away and be like, okay, but it's okay, there's different parts of me that are fun too, whatever. But when you're like true to yourself and you're being you and people don't like that, that's like a stab at like you. That's like, it's like you opened up the doors in your heart and they're like, haha, that's really funny, and then they like threw rocks in it or whatever, like. And I think like the best way to deal with that is just kind of like, it just takes time, and just really, it's really taking time with yourself. No other person is going to be someone that is like, how do I say this? So often when people are searching for acceptance and for happiness, they're looking for it through other people. But no single person is perfect. Nobody is. And they are too busy worrying about themselves to be someone that can take on your load. And like, while friends will try, they will be there for you and they will be there to help you and stuff, at the end of the day, if you want to be happy and if you want to be accepted, the first person who needs to accept you is you.
Absolutely.
And like that is like the main part of it, is that that's really how to deal with people that don't like you. Because if you like you, then it doesn't matter what other people think, because like I think that's where, when I got to that point of or still like, not got to that point, I haven't passed that, because it still affects me when people don't like me and stuff, but I feel that I got to a certain point where I found out that people don't like me, and instead of sitting in my room and crying, which is something that I most definitely would have done, instead I just went out and I did what I felt was me and what would make me happy with myself, and just like went out and did those things, and I didn't try to fill that space with new people. It was more like once you start being yourself, those people become attracted to you. Yeah. What else? Like,
I feel like we should talk about, just like touch on again, people that are close to you now.
Yeah.
'Cause I think we covered a lot.
Yeah. So like, people that are close to you, how to deal with them. Block them and delete them on everything.
This is the response for everything. The second anything happens, it's just block them. You can never talk to them again.
That is, I literally, okay, no, not never, but when someone, and I don't know, for me, I think
sometimes it is necessary.
Yeah, it is.
It definitely is necessary at times.
I think that I've gotten to a point where I've tried so hard to be that forgiving person, and I still feel that I am a very forgiving person, but I was always kind of a forgive and forget. But it shouldn't be forgive and forget. It should be forgive and move on.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, so a big part of it comes through social media, and a big part of that whole painful part, like that pain that you feel when someone doesn't like you or where you stop being friends with people or whatever, comes from social media. And we do ourselves so much more damage when we're like hurting over a friend, or we're hurting over the loss of a boyfriend or something like that, and all we can do like is check their Instagram, check their Snapchat, check their Facebook, check their grandma's Facebook, see if their grandma's posting anything, because
check all their tags.
Yeah, and just like, and we're
Biggest waste of
always
time.
yeah, and we're
Biggest
just
waste of
always
time.
like looking, and then we're with our friends,
Yeah.
and we're out and we're doing stuff, and we should be having fun, but instead we're on our phone, and then we turn to our friends and we're like, oh my god, look what they're doing, and your
Yeah.
friends are just sitting there like, yeah, okay, I'm right here.
It's like you
know?
can never fully, I mean, this isn't exactly about hating or like receiving hate from someone, but like even with just what you just said, say it's a breakup or a friend breakup, you know, you stop being friends with someone that you've been close with for years. If you're constantly checking their social media and checking up on them, you're not moving forward, and you're not going to heal, because you feel like you're still experiencing life with them, and you're still like seeing what they do and how they feel, so you're still thinking about how they would feel about your actions and what you're doing, and you're subconsciously hoping that they're checking up on you too. And it's something that we all do, but it's something that you just need to like learn really well, like self-discipline. And when it comes to people that are just like hurting you in your life, as I was saying before, you have to cut it off. And like I think something that's really important is you can't think of who someone was, and you need to look at who they are, because most relationships start off great and they start off positive, but regardless of how a relationship starts, it's about how it ends or where it is currently. And even if someone was the nicest person to you had ever experienced, if they're not treating you the right way now, you can't make excuses for them, or you can't say, oh well, it's probably just a phase and they'll go back to how they used to treat me. Because you're just allowing yourself to be walked all over, and you're allowing yourself to be hurt over and over again by someone who doesn't deserve that compassion and forgiveness. And as Victoria said before, to like not forgive and forget, to forgive and move on, that also applies to when you forgive someone in a friendship and keep them in your life. Because personally, I don't believe in cutting someone off the first time something happens between you. I mean, if it's something really extreme, or just something that's completely unforgivable, or you know, you just like can't allow that to happen, then obviously that's a special circumstance. But everyone is human and everyone makes mistakes. So there's going to be times when people do things that, although it's hurtful, you don't want to lose them from your life, and you want to give them that benefit of the doubt. But if they continue to repeat that action and they continue to hurt you, or if they make excuses for what they did instead of embracing the fact that they messed up and, you know, they did hurt you, if they don't try and change that, and you don't talk it out, and you just let them continue to hurt you over and over again, you're just hurting yourself, and you don't need that in your life.
Right. Yeah, that's so good. And like, I mean, how we were like joking about before, that I just cut people I think it's all about like I that's why I wanted you in this video, is because I feel like it's so much better to hear it from two different people, because we handle things so differently.
Yeah, people definitely, everyone deals with things differently.
Yeah.
And even like circumstantial, like you deal with things on like a case-to-case basis. Like you don't deal with every friendship the same way.
Yeah.
There's been people who I've cut off the second they hurt me, and there's been people that I've given chance after chance, and they just like kept hurting me more and more, and eventually you just had to learn the hard way.
So once someone hurts you, know, and when you if you just forgive them, or if you allow them to blame you for partially like what's going on or whatever, and if they're not taking full responsibility, know that you have just opened the door to that sort of problem reoccurring. Because when you take fault or responsibility for someone else's actions, that's when they see that, and even if they are not trying to do it maliciously, subconsciously they understand that the next time that they hurt you, you're gonna deal with it that same way. So maybe they hurt you and you got really upset and you tried talking to them about it and they just cut you off, and then you came back later and you're like, I'm sorry that I got so mad about that. I totally overreacted, and next time, like, I'll think about it more, and I understand now that, like, you didn't mean to hurt me, and you apologize for them. The next time that they hurt you, they're gonna do the same thing, because they're just gonna be like, oh, well, I'll just ignore her, and then she'll just think, and then she'll just get over it. You know what I mean? And so you have to stay really strong in those sense of, like, when you know that someone has done something wrong to you, don't make excuses for them and allow them to apologize. And if they don't want to, like, maybe a lot of the times, like, maybe there are two sides of each story, and maybe you did do something wrong. Only apologize for things that you've done. And don't, like, and things that you actually know you did wrong.
Yeah, don't apologize to the way that you feel about things.
Yeah.
Because also, like, it's important to recognize the difference between your feelings and your reactions. So, like, if someone does something to you and you give it right back, yes, you should apologize for what you said also. Or, like, if you just react really quickly or irrationally, that's something you should apologize for. But you should never apologize for the way that it makes you feel, because if you just explain the way that something affects you, it can really help fix that so that it doesn't happen again in the future.
Yeah. And it's, like, so good to talk. You're supposed to talk about the way that you feel and the way that people make you feel. Because maybe there are times where, like, okay, say if me and Taylor got into a fight, and I obviously wouldn't just, like, cut her out. Like, that's not what would happen. We would need to talk about it.
Yeah, live with me.
But also we would need to talk it out, and we would need to, like, address a situation and be like, okay, when this happened, this is how it made me feel. And you need to use I statements.
Yeah, that's really
You
important.
can't point the finger at the other person, because, like, your finger can come right back at you. Like, and you have to just, when someone hurts you, you have to say, this thing that you did, this is how it hurt me. You can't say, when, like, you did this and you're the reason that you blah blah blah, you. Yeah. Like, you should be like, when I said this to you and you responded this way, it made me feel like this. And when it made me feel like this, it made me angry in this way, and that's why I said this, which is why you responded like this. And when you responded like that, it hurt me.
Because when you just use you statements, the person gets defensive, and then they're not even listening to what you're saying, because they're coming up with their response and they're thinking of how they're going to defend their actions.
Yeah, but if you say, like, it made me feel this way, no one can ever tell you how you're supposed to feel, or how what you feel is irrelevant. Like, what is someone gonna say? You say, I'm sad, and they're gonna say, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Great, okay, good job. You somehow, like, figured out how to be in my brain and feel what I'm feeling. No, like, they can't do that. Oh, I was going on the whole, like, blocking thing, that sometimes how we were talking about with checking up on people's Snapchats and stuff, and or Instagrams or Instagram stories or whatever else that they could be posting, Musical.lys. But
I hope you're not stalking people's Musical.lys.
Yeah.
Everyone watching this video. I haven't even stooped to that level, so that says something.
But when you're stalking people, like, sometimes people hurt you to the point where, like, I know whenever I've blocked people or unfollowed them, it hasn't really been out of, like, I hate you or whatever. It's a lot of the times it would just hurt me to see those posts in my feed, So you have to like take steps for yourself and not really think about like in times you have to be selfish and like not think, oh, what are they gonna think when I unfollow them? Like they're gonna think I hate them. And it's like, okay, well, let them think what they're gonna think, because you have to be strong for yourself and you have to make those decisions, and you need to like block those people, unfriend those people, unfollow those people, because at the end of the day, you're what matters in your life. Being selfish isn't always a bad thing. The word selfish has gotten such a negative connotation to it, because when we think about selfish, like we think about selfish people, people that are rude, people that only care about themselves. And yes, like you should care about other people, but you should really care about yourself, because you're stuck with yourself for the rest of your life.
You need to be your main priority.
Yeah. And so if people are doing stuff to you, like if your best friend is talking to your boyfriend too much and you feel uncomfortable with that, like, and you try talking to them and they make you feel stupid for it, like, and maybe like it's your ex-boyfriend now and you've broken up because it messed with your friendship and they're still hanging out, and that's still something that affects you, and you've tried talking to them and saying like, I really don't like it when you hang out with them and it bothers me, and they don't really listen to that and they keep posting Snapchats or whatever, that's when it's okay to unfollow them and to block them, because that's hurting you. Like that's doing so many, like, did it unfocus? But yeah, that's hurting you, and you need to be smart. You need to put yourself first and care about you and love yourself. Like love yourself enough to do what's right for you. One thing that's so hard though, that I will admit, is when you disconnect with someone and maybe you just kind of you decided you guys, like, you're not friends, you guys don't click, whatever, like you're just like, okay, we're not friends, I unfollowed you, whatever, and then you see them in person. Like it makes you want to like poop your pants a little bit when you walk into a room and there's like someone that you know doesn't like you and that you don't like, or that you're just not friends with or whatever, and you walk into that room and you're like, okay, great, and you do everything that you can to avoid them. And when you do that, it makes them feel that they won. And it's not a competition, but if you're in that room and you're doing something, you're doing whatever, like, do you. Okay, yeah, maybe it's a little like petty to like pretend you don't know who someone is, but when it comes down to it, like when you sit and you like talk, and oh, it's gonna stop soon. Okay, if you're like only talking poop about people or whatever, you're talking crap.
Ooh, big words.
You're talking crap about people, and that's like what you're using in what you're doing with your spare time, is you just keep getting upset and you're talking about those people. Again, that's like only hurting yourself. When you see those people and you walk into a room, they're not there. They're not your friends, and just like, you don't know them, you know? If that's what it takes, like just walk in and pretend they're not even there. Okay, let's finish with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bullet points on positivity. So, number 1, how to deal with people that don't know you.
Tell them to off.
Number 2, how to deal.
That's how I deal with it. I'm kidding.
No,
ignore them. They don't matter.
Yeah.
Who are they anyway? That's what
Yeah. What? They don't know who you are. They don't know your story.
Exactly.
Snatch that back. Okay, anyway, and then on social media, how what to do about social media. Unfollow people if it's hurting you. Confrontation. If you get really uncomfortable when people are in the room that you don't like, don't be the person to leave. Just pretend they're not there, or smile at them and be the bigger person. You choose your battle.
Exactly.
With people that do know you, don't let someone's title dictate the way that they treat you. Even if they are your best friend, if they are the person that causes you the most pain, cut them out.
Don't make excuses for people.
Hating on yourself. Don't allow what other people's words say. What other people's words don't allow.
Good English. Ooh.
Don't allow what other people say stick into your head. Like, don't let those words be what's stamped on your forehead.
Don't let them shape how you feel about yourself.
Yeah. I'm not clay, you're silly words.
Alright, that's why I'm the singer.
They won't live inside your world. Cause your punches and your names, all your jokes and stupid games. That
last one wasn't terrible.
And we're gonna leave it at 5.
And that's a wrap, everyone. But for real, everyone just love yourself and don't let what people say or do lessen the love that you have for yourself. Just make it grow stronger and use the hate as motivation, not to be, you know, kind of typical, but
let your haters motivate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
everyone's day is filled with love and positivity.
Yeah.
And
go out into the world.
Or we will see you in the next video.
Yeah.
I'm taking over.
I know, I was like, am I not doing my own outro?
Do your outro, I'm kidding.
She wasn't kidding.
This is my YouTube channel.
Thank you so much for watching and listening to me and Taylor rant. And I hope that this helped you guys. I don't know if it did. We went off on a lot of different tangents, but if it did, I'm so happy that it did. I think it definitely helped me to talk about it, so I'm happy we made this video anyway. Make sure you comment down below any video requests or any comments that you have on this video. Let me know. I'd love to chat with you guys down in the comments. Make sure that you subscribe and like this video.
Very important.
Yeah, very important. But yeah, make sure that you subscribe, that way you can see all of the content I keep creating. I'm back at school, so I'm excited to keep making contact. I can't speak English!
Victoria is very excited to continue making content for you.
See you guys later. Bye!
Bye. Yeah.